Hello and welcome to the VR Untethered podcast. We are untethered from each other, as well as reality, as well as our brains.
Wow.
On that note,
Yeah.
I'm
Goodbye.
still not Brad Pitt, and that's still not Josh Holloway, and I'm still not Brad, and that's still not Josh.
Better. Much better. I'm glad. By the way, thank you,
Brad, I'm
Sebastian,
Josh.
for clearing that up. Thank you. Thank you, Sebastian. We really appreciate it. And the Obi-Wan look today is strictly for you. Okay, back to the show.
Dean. So,
Yes,
with no further ado, do we have highlights this week?
we do. None of them related to gameplay, unfortunately. I am set up, though, now. Excuse me? I'm not
How
hearing
about
you.
game watching?
Game watching has been, well, the trailers I've been watching. My biggest problem now is Carly and the Reaper Man because I have no one to play it with.
Well, I believe there is a single player option for it, but yeah, that's kind of
That's,
defeating the purpose of an asymmetric co-op game.
exactly. So I was really looking forward to it and then realized that I have no one to play it. I was hoping to be able to play it online, multiplayer. I don't know if it allows that. I don't think it does.
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that it should because it's on PC now. I mean, but I honestly don't know.
Yeah, me neither. So here I was anticipating, and nobody's really written whether you could use two headsets or whether it's only PC and
Right.
or
Well, the two VR players would be a little bit weird because then you wouldn't have any the character going around. You'd only have the two the skull characters helping the character that's not there. So
true, unless you were helping another assistant like your Trover type thing that you were alternately controlling. But
maybe.
right, but without somebody to help me play it, I really didn't see the point in purchasing it yet.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
we'll talk about it a little bit more in the new releases this section, I'm sure. But yeah,
I keep
I
waiting
can
to
understand
see. I keep waiting to see whether version 28 is actually rolled out or not.
that. Yeah.
I keep.
You have no sound coming out of your mouth. You have no sound coming out of your mouth.
Okay, no.
There we go. Now I can hear you again.
Okay, there we go. I have no idea what happened. Um, anyway, yeah, back to Carly and the Reaper Man. No, haven't played it. And as far as version 28, I don't know if it's out or not. Is it?
I haven't heard reports of it. Well, actually, no. I think I saw one person comment about how 28 fixed things for him. So I think it is slowly rolling out. I don't have it yet, but
I
I think Ding Boy went and tracked down the update to be able to sideload it and manually install it because he needed to be able to use his headset to make a review on something before the embargo was lifted, and Link was not working for him at all on version 27. So
Yeah, that Air Link is going to be something interesting now. Well, that's just it. I hate the fact. Okay, I don't hate the fact. I dislike the fact that the features roll out so that you're really not even sure whether or not you got the update until you see the features that
right.
changes.
Well, like yesterday, my Quest acted like it had restarted itself, and then I had to redo the Guardian and everything. But my volume was still where I had left it all the way up, so and I was still on version 27. So I was like, okay, so it just randomly deleted the Guardian.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I. Yeah, exactly. That's what I. these rollouts start reminding me of the unpatched rollouts we get from Windows. Like, wait till next Tuesday, there'll be a patch roll. We screwed up this Tuesday.
Yeah, well, speaking of Windows update rollouts, a lot of the people always advise don't install the update right away. Wait until the next update, then install the previous update, because by then everything has been ironed out.
Right, but most people have Windows Home, not Windows Pro, so it's harder to go in and schedule your update
Right,
than it is
right,
if you have the Pro version, which very few people want to spend the extra because the only thing you really need it for is for this, not to
right,
schedule the update.
right,
So
right.
it's kind of crazy. It really is. This whole
Yeah,
transfer. We had started talking about the processor transfers last week, but they're all working on operating system updates as well, and it's just when all this happens at once, it's going to be a month of at least of what, you know. But I just don't like seeing the Oculus get involved in that as well. I want to be able to go to my game and play it. That
right.
was the point. So I'm glad they're making it beefier and better and all of that great stuff. But can I play a game, please?
No, no. You had your chance and you didn't do it.
Right, exactly. We came out with these other 8 updates in the last week, and
Yep.
so
No,
anyway.
but yeah, my highlight of this week was playing more No Man's Sky and realizing that I was on his base station in the game called Is Man's Sky.
Okay.
I was in a game called No Man's Sky
On
on
his
his space station called Is Man's Sky. Is Man Sky. At first I was reading it as Is Mansky, and then I was like, wait a second, that says Is Man Sky. That's got to be I don't know if it's procedurally generated inadvertent or what, but it has got to be a pun of some.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say but sometimes these Easter eggs. It's like I was reading about the Easter eggs that the developers from down the rabbit hole had put in there,
Okay.
and who cares? Seriously, the Easter eggs that they were advertising were like nothing that I would really go searching for, much less be rewarded by finding. So it was kind of like, okay, you already had a good game going. If you wanted to put in one Easter egg that was really cool, that would have been nice, like Moss's Twilight Garden or something like that. But putting in the name of the director of the animation, I have to go searching for that. Like this is a payoff.
Well, that's traditionally what Easter eggs are. Is the very first Easter egg was the credits for the game developer people.
Yeah, well, we have moved beyond that. You might have noticed we have moved beyond the first iteration of what you do with an Easter egg, and
I know, but still, my favorite Easter egg still has to be the I think it was in Windows 95, where I forget how you triggered it, but you could enter in like a little 3D Doom sort of thing where you were escaping from Windows 3.1 and going to Windows 95, and you had to cross over a zigzag chasm and whatnot. And
I know that's what I'm talking about. They used to have some decent Easter eggs. Those were fun. You'd
yes.
find that and you go, oh, that was cool, as opposed to, oh, that was the director? Great.
Yeah, or like the Android version Easter eggs. Like, yeah, it was cool at first, but okay, it's just another animation.
Right.
Oh.
Exactly. They're all just animations at this point. Those are Easter eggs as animations.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they're cool.
So, yeah.
And
it's a little bit tedious. Have to go tap 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 tap. Oh, 3 more taps. Tap tap tap.
Now it sounds like making your Adobe Aero augmented reality program trigger. You know, you have start and tap. Those are your two triggers. So
Right,
it's like if you want more than one thing doing something more than once, it's just like I hope it does what I want it to.
right, right. Well, so let's move on to the new releases. We have Carly and the Reaper Man that came out 2 days ago.
Really? Wow. I was
Yes,
waiting for that one. Can you
I
play that with
know.
PC and VR? Or?
I have not played it. I have not bought it. So,
Same here, but we're
yeah.
back.
And I mean, I like multiplayer games, and I like the idea of that asymmetrical style, but that really works best, I feel, when you have two people in the physical environment to doing it with each other.
Right.
You know, like, and they both have to be invested in it and want to do it at the same time.
And not say this is
Like, do
stupid.
you remember Covert?
I do, and that's what I'm thinking
I
about.
still have not completed
Me
Covert
neither. Me neither.
because I was playing it with my wife, and I've
Right.
always got to cajole her into doing it, and that's hard work. So no,
Right. If it's not fun for people,
right,
you're going to stop at some point because one person's not having fun.
right. Well,
Usually the
the Carly
person
and the
not.
Reaper Man looks like it would be fun for both people, a little bit more than the Covert was.
Right.
But there is still the logistics because the only place that I would be able, or the only time that I would be able to do it with, say, my wife, is when my wife gets home off of work. All she wants to do is relax and have dinner and relax because she's had a long day of work.
Right. She wants to chill. Her idea
Right,
of chilling isn't playing a video game with you.
right, right.
Got
So,
it.
you know,
So yes, your time is limited. Whenever you count on somebody else to have to play, other than your group of Discord players or whoever
right,
you're hooked up with, it's going to be an uphill battle.
yeah. So,
So,
um, but that said, I wish them luck. From everything that I've ever heard about it, it's a great game. It's really fun.
yeah, it
So
seems like
I
it too.
hope it does well, and I hope that people find a way to play it. And if you know, viewers, if there is online to play with it, where I can be in my VR headset at home, and Brad can be on his flat screen at his home, and we play that way, or whoever,
And what are the
let us know in the
requirements of the
comments.
PC? Right? But
But
what are the and what are the requirements of the PC to be able to play along with you? That's going to be
well,
another issue.
well, I would imagine that the requirements for the flat version are probably a little bit lower than the requirements for the VR, but yeah,
But I don't know how that would affect gameplay either because I don't know
right,
what the person on the flat screen is doing compared to the person in the VR
right,
headset. So
right. So
we need a complete review.
yeah. Anyways, speaking of needing a complete review, I have not bought this next title yet, but I did watch a Japanese video going through it really quickly, and not quite a complete review necessarily, but fortunately YouTube's auto translate function worked well enough that I was able to catch the gist of what he was saying about it. Anycast Maker, which is $29.99.
Pretty expensive.
If I remember right, from what I looked up this morning for it. It's a expensive app.
Yes.
And it looks like it does what it claims to do. You can put down a set, put the character in the set, then inhabit the character, animate it, talk, to pick up objects and whatnot. All the things that you would do with Mind Show or Flipside, and record it from a third person to camera, where you can set what angle and all that, and then it's got some sharing options. you can just render it to your Quest and then pull the video off of the Quest and then upload it wherever. So. Yeah. However, one thing that I did notice is that the guy in the video was doing a lot of this while he was talking. He was very animated.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept having to continually reach down and reposition the character because it lost where it was because of all that head moving.
That's insane.
So.
That's insanity. So is that because he's doing it in the Quest and it's using the Quest to track him? So when he's moving his head, it's moving the character?
I don't know, but this is not while he was in the character, but while he was in the God view, looking down at the set, and the character's in the set, right?
And the character's moving while he's in the set, not inhabit?
It's like view? The character's here,
right?
And he's moving around, and and now he has to reach down and go, no, sit back here, and then he's moving around again, and back here.
Right. I don't understand why it would do that.
It's not necessarily visibly creeping, but it was looking like it wanted to move with the camera view of the headset a little bit, even though it shouldn't have been. It should have been anchored.
Right. That's what exactly. There's an anchor there. So, but it's obviously still hooked to the camera for some reason.
Yeah, at least a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, personally, and it also looks like, and I don't know if this is true or if it's just that he only had two characters in there.
Only two characters.
But it looks like there were only two characters, and they're both female anime characters. So I believe, I don't know all the details, but I believe you can import your own characters. So you're not limited to those two, but for $30, I would expect more than just two anime characters.
I would agree with you.
So
that's not a very good deal,
yeah.
I think.
I mean,
how would you compare
were really into creating your own anime show in VR, this might be worth it to you, but it's something I'm going to pass on.
Right. I was going to say, you seem to have enjoyed the other programs better than this one.
And they're free.
Which would make it even more enjoyable if it produces a better product, easier to do, and it's free.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty tough to...
Yep. Mind Show and Flipside are both free. Mind Show's kind of stagnated and they've stopped development, but I believe it still works.
Mm-hmm.
Flipside, as we mentioned in the previous episode, is still active and they're still adding things and they're still changing things, and they've now added an optional subscription model for pro features, but the basic is still free, and the basic is basically what you already had.
Right.
So.
Well, it's interesting to me how the subscription model has been very popular among developers really quickly.
Yeah. Well,
too quickly.
It's tempting to developers because if you can get $10 a month out of someone as opposed to $10 once,
Yeah, but it's 30 or 40 once, and then it's 10 a month, and then you start losing people.
It depends on the app, but yeah. I know what you mean.
Some subscriptions I can understand to a degree, but I still like the idea of a downloadable content much better than a subscription.
Yeah. Speaking of the subscription models, ZZ Fit is now on the official Oculus store.
I know, they've been making enough of a deal about that for the last...
Yeah, and they have a $10 a month subscription model.
No wonder they're advertising so heavily.
It's a free 7-day trial or a free 14? I forget which. I think it's a 7-day, and then it goes into a $10 a month subscription. And this is fitness app. Uh, One of his claims to fame, they used to produce their own. Now they just do the software side of it and not the hardware side, but they allow cadence, what is it, monitors or
Right.
whatever it is, which
They-
is something that you can clip onto your exercise bike that tracks the revolutions per second of the wheel,
Right.
so that you can have that accurately tracked in the VR game and be riding your bike in the VR world, throwing papers. Oh, wait. That'd be a different game.
Yeah, that
Paperboy
would,
VR.
yeah, maybe you can even drive into traffic jams if you want. I don't know if they incorporate the two, you know. Bring your VZ Fit bike into the traffic jam. Um, Once again, VZ Fit's been around for a while. 120 bucks a year to use it. Seems a little pricey.
Yeah, it does. Again, this is something that I'm not really sure. I mean, a subscription model makes sense when is something like, say, Viveport Infinity, where you
Yes.
get new stuff all the time,
Yes.
or Netflix, where you're getting new stuff. But this is just access to this. It's not necessarily you're getting new stuff every month.
You're
You're
not.
just getting access.
Exactly.
So, but I think they are viewing it as, well, it's a home gym and you're paying a gym membership fee to your home gym. I'm like, I don't need to pay a membership fee to my home gym. It's my home.
Right? I pay the air conditioning. I pay for the rent. What are you talking about?
Right.
I'm not
Right.
subsidizing. I'll give you the $2 that it's actually costing you a month, maybe.
Right. Right. It's
But
like,
don't compare yourself to a
if
gym.
I buy an exercise bike to bring into my house, I'm not paying $10 a month for the exercise bike unless I've got it on some weird payment plan. But I bought the bike, one big lump sum, and now it's mine. It's in my home. You know,
Hey, I
I
have
don't
an
have a
Android.
subscription to ride it.
Right. Yeah, it's just crazy. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess the servers and the thing, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sure it costs money to keep a game going and alive and the servers. And
Yeah,
it's a different world
but
than it used to be, but
I do have to say, $10 a month is a lot better than what Supernatural was originally going for, which was more than that,
it was like
if I
25
remember
bucks a
right.
month, 30 bucks a month, and that was
Yeah,
a
something like
single.
that. Yeah.
Now it's a family membership. I think now you can have 20 people for that 30 bucks a month because nobody was paying it.
Yeah. No, so the good thing is that it's at the low end the of the gym membership prices, because there are some actual gyms out there that are $10 a month, like Planet Fitness. You can
Right.
have a $10 a month membership there. That's usually a limited time, but still.
Yeah, once again, I just think that the subscription model for a program that's only going to have downloadable content is really the way to go, and not a subscription program. It's just, unless, like you're saying, unless they're giving you different stuff every month and you're getting
Right.
it, and you want the box, you're prepaying for that gift box that has $50 worth of stuff for 10. That's
Right.
fine. That I understand. But just the constant subscription to access something like you're saying, yes,
Right.
Viveport, absolutely.
Right.
Riding my own bicycle
Yeah.
with the program I already bought. I
Right.
have to pay you to be able to ride the bicycle I had to go out to buy in order to put your appliance on that bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing just sounds way too pricey and
Yeah.
complicated.
Now, we do have a member in our Discord who swears by these.
Since the day it came out, from the
Yeah.
day it came out, he has been a loyal VZ fitter.
Yeah.
And we even had an old fart for a while that was VZ
Yeah.
fitter.
Yep.
Hope he's still okay. We haven't heard from him in a while.
He got eaten up It's by Rec Room, I think. Rec Room absorbed him and pulled him in.
I don't get it. Rec Room is like the least realistic of all of. I mean, yes, it offers you a variety of games.
Yeah, but it's better than Horizon is.
Dude, that's
more
really
entertainment.
that's setting a low bar. I mean, that's like saying it's more entertaining than watching lint accumulate on your carpet. Yes, I agree, but it's a low bar.
I mean, I'm sure at some point, there'll be more content and more engaging stuff there. But for right now, it's
Horizon's a ghost.
It hasn't reached the level where it keeps pulling people back in yet. So, anyways, enough of the new releases because we are now 25 minutes in. Let's talk about upcoming titles. Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife is coming next week, I do believe.
I do believe. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I'm not disappointed. I've read very mixed reviews.
Well, there will be mixed reviews for everything, I am sure.
I find that
Fast Travel Games does a good job with the games. Even if sometimes they make super short games. I've heard that Tale of the Stolen Pets was still really good, even though it was super short.
It was a fun 12 minutes. I have to admit, it really was a fun 12 minutes. And that's literally how long it took.
Right.
You know? I mean, no, I didn't go back. That's the only game I ever returned. No, I think I returned 2 games, but that was the first one I ever actually returned. And just went, what?
Right. Right. So, but I have faith that the fast travel game is going to make a good game out of it because they have a proven track record of making very solid games.
Right.
So,
I'm like I said, I just hope it doesn't disappoint and it gives enough gameplay. It doesn't have to be super long. I don't need a 10-hour game in order to consider it good. You have No Man's Sky. That's 110-hour games. You have 1,000 hours in that one game.
True. I think I'm like about 20 hours into it now.
Right. I mean, at some point, every game is just like, okay, next. I mean, but anyway, I don't need. I like replayability. I just don't need 1,000 hours to get to the end of the game.
Right.
To make it
good. I still think it's really, really cool that they are bringing a World of Darkness game into VR. I'm still waiting for Changeling or Mage because those were the ones that captured my imagination the most. I'm not quite sure how you would do those ones though, because those ones are a little bit harder.
Correct. Well, look, they're doing Resident Evil, which is going to be. There you go, our Resident Evil 4 announcement, the exclusive.
That's a foreshadowing of news.
Well, it's news, it's upcoming titles, it's a little bit of everything, you know?
Yeah, true.
And the exclusivity is, I don't know, all of a sudden I'm reading on the Reddit board, like all of these people, like, why are you making this an exclusive? And I'm thinking, why does anybody make anything exclusive, you know?
They want to encourage people to use their product.
And I'm very interested in seeing how they do Resident Evil in VR, real true VR.
I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of it yet. There's only been like a real little bit shown, like not even a full teaser, just half a teaser.
Exactly. It's a tease of a tease, but it's a teaser. Taser. Anyway, we'll have to see how that goes down. But it looks, I mean, hey, Resident Evil 4 coming to the VR is kind of cool. Yep. You know, we have that. We have Doom 3.
Yep.
And now with Airlink.
Yep. And speaking of Airlink, let's go into the news.
I thought we were.
Let's start off with the bad news of the day. Frostpoint is dead.
It was dead on arrival, man. I was in the beta.
Pretty much, it was. but it's officially dead now. They are pulling servers and whatnot. So,
Are you surprised?
no, I'm not. I'm surprised that it took this long.
Yes, me too. I guess it was the chilly temperature that kept the corpse functioning longer.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was pretty much there. It was an interesting idea. It just, I don't know if it just took them.
It wasn't quite implemented right.
Exactly. The idea,
And as others have pointed out, had they brought it to Quest, they probably would have done great, even with it being implemented exactly as it is. You know, it probably would have done great. You know, it would have done even better if they implemented it better. But just being on the Quest would have helped it immensely. That would have shoved it up into orbit. All right, now that we are back from that minor interruption, I feel that if they had brought Frostpoint to the Quest, it would have shoved it up into orbital velocity. It would have been on them to maintain that, and who knows if they would have been able to, but
Right. It was a good idea. They really did try, but they just didn't have it. I don't know. It just never really got the following it should have. And you're right. Let's face it, 90% of the last games developed for Steam should have been developed for the Quest.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good-looking game. It had a fairly unique concept.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone who played it complained that the enemy part of the player versus enemy was not strong enough. You could just ignore the enemies.
Exactly. So if you didn't have the third guy really interfering, there was no interest in the gameplay. It was, right. So it was a good idea, just not implemented exactly correctly. Somebody will probably come up with a similar idea and implement it correctly. And,
and then it'll take off.
Right. So. It's like Cowboys and Aliens. They're still trying to do the Cowboys and Aliens thing correctly. Even the movie had a problem with it. So,
anyways, moving on. Guitar Hero designer, or an ex-Guitar Hero designer, joined the Unplugged team.
Right.
Which leads us right into the next bit of news, which is Unplugged air guitar has been approved for the official store.
Cool.
So we have a Guitar Hero designer working on it, and it's approved for the official store. I don't think we have a date for it yet, but that's pretty cool. Literally play air guitar with hand tracking.
Yeah, if it works well, it'll be fun. I mean, we've been waiting for this our whole lives, to actually be able to play air guitar. That would be kind of cool.
Right.
So,
and as we already alluded to earlier, paid app subscriptions for the Quest. So, both good and bad. I mean, anything that brings more money to the devs is technically a good thing because the devs need to be supported and all that, but more and more it's not really. You don't need to feel obligated to support the devs anymore, because how many of them have made over $1 million now?
Enough so that you don't have to feel obligated to support them.
Exactly. So, but yeah, paid app subscriptions, some of the apps are doing it right, according to personal opinion, in that like Tribe now has a subscription where you basically get access to all the cosmetics and all the environments and any further future cosmetics, or you can just buy the ones that you want. And it doesn't change anything about the core functionality. It's just a subscription. If you want to click and forget, for the cosmetics.
Right.
So that's an okay way of doing it. Where I don't like to see it, and I don't think that I really have yet, except maybe Pop One, but I don't think it's got a subscription in it yet. It's just got the in-app purchases.
Mm-hmm.
But where I would not like to see it is if you had to pay, say, $30 for the app and then do a subscription in the app
For
for
seasonal.
something else. I'm like, that's just, yeah, no.
Right.
That would not be the right way of doing it.
And some places will do that.
Yes, I'm sure.
They will go seasonal, and there will be seasonal passes, and that will be a. Here's my biggest problem. Honestly, this is my biggest problem. I have 135, 140 different apps. I like to be able to go back and play some occasionally. Some I've given up on, some I play all the time. You know, it's really a matter of which one.
Yeah.
How many subscriptions am I really supposed to juggle and think about that are going to add to my monthly cost with these games?
Right. Well, yeah. I would imagine most of these subscription apps are ones that you wouldn't get a subscription to. I mean, if you only play the app once or twice a year, you're not going to have a subscription to it. It's only if it's one that you play every week at least, and if the subscription provides value to you.
Right, but how many of the games on the Quest are actually games that will fulfill somebody's total interest forever for the, you know what I mean? There's
Right.
multiple games they're playing, so it's not like you're joining Xbox.
There are some people that only play a literal handful of games. That they play Beat Saber, they play Rec Room, they play Beat Saber, they play Rec Room,
Right. No, I understand that.
So.
And the people that do Beat Saber and Rec Room need to make more money because these people are utilizing their servers, and they're just, I got it. But at the same token, I just don't want to see the landscape is already fraught with danger because of the whole tie-in of the Oculus system. So I just don't want to see more friction within the ecosystem.
Right. Yeah. So it remains to be seen. I'm sure there'll be some apps out there that will have a subscription that really have no business having a subscription, and there will be some that probably opt not to have a subscription that really could benefit from one. And we'll have some in between too. So,
I think Solaris is having a sale on their subscription plan.
Yeah. So, also coming next week, not a new game, but at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, the first ever Oculus Gaming Showcase, where they will have announcements about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, a whole bunch of other things. So, I plan on, if I'm not working at that time, tuning in and watching it.
That's August 21st at
next
April
week.
21st, right? Yes. It's April 21st.
Man, you jumped ahead a couple months.
Are you kidding? The iPad announcement is the Surface announcements came this past week. The iPad announcements are coming next Tuesday. I'm just trying to follow all the tech breakthroughs, and they're insane. They really are. The Neo Pico 3, so many things we don't even have listed here.
We'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah.
It's been a crazy week for news. It really has. Yeah. It's just like...
Yeah. Speaking of crazy week for news, Carmack and Boz laid rest to some rumors today by basically saying there is no Quest 3 or Quest Pro yet, and the Quest 2 will be here for a very long time.
Meanwhile, the Resident Evil 4 exclusivity is only for the Quest 2. They've already left the Quest 1 behind way before they're allowed to.
Well, no. Resident Evil 4 has coming out next year, so technically it's past the required 1 year supporting of the obsolete device.
Okay.
You know, so.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and they had a big announcement on the Oculus blog, AirLink 120 Hz, and support for bringing your desk into VR, just like you can bring your couch into VR.
The K830, which makes no sense because it's a multimedia keyboard. I'm still trying.
I didn't say keyboard, I said desk.
Yes, you can bring in your desk, but the big news is the Logitech K830 will function within your environment.
Right.
But they're bringing in a multimedia.
It's only that specific keyboard, yeah.
As of today.
Well, I mean, it kind of has to be. Well, no, it doesn't have to be, because the Mirth does it with any keyboard. Just it's not going to have all the buttons mapped properly, because it uses a generic keyboard design, and your keyboard may be a little bit different.
Right.
Like yours may not have a number pad, the virtual one does, or vice versa. But with having it be one specific keyboard, they could match it perfectly so that every key on the virtual keyboard matches your real physical keyboard. So that part, it kind of makes sense, because when I was trying out Immersed, there were a couple times when I was looking at the virtual keyboard and going, okay, I got to remember that's not the @ sign. This is the @ sign. You know what I mean? So.
Right. But, you know, as you're saying that, I'm just thinking, because this just happens to be here, when we're talking about devices that they only have to know of one to make it work correctly. These are the original Oculus Quest in-ear headphones. The ones that delivered the sound in mono.
Right.
They were designed for the headset.
Yeah, that had the 2 ports. Right.
Right. And they had to deliver a new set a month later that would give it to me in stereo, as opposed to having designed their own set. So I don't necessarily believe that everybody's design is perfect for things like that. Logitech,
No. I'm not necessarily saying it's perfect. I'm just saying that having a one-to-one mapping like that makes sense.
It does.
You know,
especially when you read about people that are using.
Whether it makes sense that it's that specific keyboard or not, I don't know. I haven't used that to the keyboard, so I don't know.
Right.
But the idea of the one-to-one design is what I'm talking about. So.
Well, they said they're going to expand it, but it's still.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah. But yeah, I am looking forward to Infinite Office being fully here. That would be pretty cool. And I also look forward to seeing how AirLink compares with Virtual Desktop. Maybe it'll work better for me. Maybe it will let me play Minecraft with my son again, because I can't do that with Virtual Desktop. But maybe AirLink will allow that, because it's integrated with the Oculus app, you know, and it won't be detected as an emulator. I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have to see. So. But yeah, it looks interesting.
Anyways, I hear we have a new game coming out next year, Resident Evil 4 or something like that, a Quest 2 exclusive.
Something like that, yeah. Where did I hear that? Just recently. Oh, man, that's, I can't believe that. Okay, I see a cat trying to materialize. It's almost there. You'll have to work on that, Mr. Potter. I see the side of a cat. Up a tail. There's a tail. Okay. Yeah. I know it's a beast with a tail, and it's calico colored. That's all I can say.
He just jumped up on the back of my chair, so I was like, "What the?" Anyways, yeah. This isn't probably a game that I'm probably not going to be getting, because I'm not really into that kind of game too much. I know I've played some games that have zombies and whatnot, but I really don't like going for the blood and gore kind of games and whatnot.
I do have a ton of zombie games. It's
I
not
know.
like Resident Evil is drawing me
But at the
in.
same time, Resident Evil is kind of a classic, and I have greatly enjoyed the movies and whatnot.
Right.
So
That's the
so
whole
I
world.
might end up getting it. I really don't know.
Right. Because it is not just a regular zombie game. It's got the other lore going behind it, and if you get
Right.
into it,
It's
it's
the zombie game.
exactly. Well, of this coming iteration,
Right.
yes, there will always be the zombie game.
Yeah, and I know Resident Evil is not considered the best Resident Evil 4 is not considered the best Resident Evil game. But
No, it's
yeah,
like the
I
worst.
know.
That's the crazy part. Like,
No,
what?
Onion Man said no. Resident Evil 3 is the worst. Evil 4 is a little bit better than Resident Evil 3, but so it's not the worst. It's just almost the worst.
That's so heartwarming. Um,
I don't know.
Thank you for making me feel much better about that. I'm going to put in my pre-order now. Um,
And speaking of other games that are coming soon, Puzzling Places is coming to the official store in the fall, which will make my wife happy because hopefully we will finally be able to not have to hook it up to the computer to download and install new levels through SideQuest, because that's a pain.
SideQuest, which was once hailed as the
Well, I
wonderful.
mean,
It is a pain. It's a pain.
it's fairly easy, but it's a pain.
Right.
And we are on the Patreon support so that my wife can get access to all the weekly puzzles as well as the official puzzles that will be in the final game. I'm not sure if he's going to keep the Patreon going or not. I'm kind of hoping either he doesn't or that my wife decides not to keep going with it, because that also will be $120 a year. A
Which is
bit
crazy.
much for just 4 extra puzzles a month, you know.
Right.
But it's a game that she greatly enjoys. That Bada Bunyan has done a great job making it and making the interactions satisfying, and he deserves the kudos for getting into the official store. So
Here's my biggest problem. Right now, I'm thinking Demio is going to be a subscription model from day one.
it might be, yeah.
And
I don't think we've heard officially yet, have we?
no, we haven't
Yeah.
heard, but they just announced the official subscription model just last week. So,
Right. Right.
give it time. But
Right.
I'm sure something like Demio, which is going to offer you various places to play and various objects and all that.
Well, it could be subscription. It could be you get access to the full
Basically,
thing, but if you want uh to be fed the latest and greatest before it's officially added to the game or whatever, say subscription, or it could be a hybrid thing like that too.
right.
Who
I'm
knows?
sure it'll be released as a basic game that you do the add-ons, which the subscription will provide.
Right.
Once again, I just don't know how many people are going to want to pay $120 a year for a game.
Right.
After the initial $30 or $40 investment,
Right. Right. So, anyways, in more hardware related news, Vicarious Surgical, which is a VR surgery, the company, is going to be going public, and they're going to be trading under the ticker symbol RBOT. Vicarious Surgical has been developing what it calls human-like surgical robots connected to VR headsets. So the surgeons are so basically inside of the patient, and the tiny little tools that the robotic arm has in there can be controlled like a human arm. It's got 9 degrees of freedom per arm, 360-degree visualization. So they'll be like miniaturized inside of you.
Right, we're creating Fantastic Voyage, but a little bit bigger. But we're using nanites. We're creating human nanite we're simulating human nanite. Okay, whatever. It sounds cool.
Yes. So Vicarious Surgical said that if everything goes according to their plan, they estimate that the valuation will be about 1.1 billion, which would make it another VR unicorn company.
Right.
They've got investment from Bill Gates, Vinod Khosa's Ventures, Eric Schmidt's Innovation Endeavors, and Philip Liang E15 VC. So you've got a bunch of venture capitalists behind it.
Right. It could work. Basically, it could work. We're not sure, but the idea is good. To me, I just keep thinking of Star Wars and the robots that were busy putting Luke's hand back together and floating him in the, water cabin, all that other stuff.
Back to tank, yeah.
Right, or as Padme is giving birth, and there's the, gynecologist, I guess, or the obstetrician of the robotic hand. Okay.
It's the Gynabot.
It's a Gynabot. Is that going to be the next IPO? GYBOT?
Maybe. GYBT, Gynabot.
Gynabot. Estimated at $1.7 billion.
Yeah. So, and now that brings us to the Pico Neo 3. The specs have been revealed. Snapdragon XR2, physical IPD adjustments, and a picture that looks very much like the Quest 2 with the Elite strap. Except it looks like a little bit better design Elite strap. It looks like a soft TPU, the plastic on the strap rather than the hard stiff one. So it sort of looks more like the Quest 1 straps, but adapted for the Quest 2. So we'll see.
I mean, right now, what is it going to have access to? I mean, the Steam library or the Go library or what?
I don't know, but it says it's got XR2 chipset, Wi-Fi 6 antenna, optical controllers with embedded tracking sensors. It's got 3 physical IPD adjustments, 4 wide-angle cameras.
3 physical
for the inside-out tracking.
So it's Oculus Quest 2.
Clocked at 90 hertz refresh rate. I'm like, it's a Quest 2 clone.
No, Quest 2 is up to 120. It's not even the clone yet. It's inferior clone.
Well, remember though, the Quest 2 came out with 72 with 90 promised, and then 90 came out, and now they're pushing it to 100 to 20. I would imagine that the Pico Neo is probably should be similar. If it's coming out at 90, they'll probably be able to improve it to 120 to sit down the line also.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
I'm just, like I said, the library is what interests me.
Yes. That's kind of the important point. I mean, it looks like it's got solid hardware. It's the software library part that is the big question.
Right. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah. I mean, right now.
Yeah. And that brings us to, speaking of software libraries, NVIDIA Cloud XR now includes AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. So that provides a whole host of options for hosting.
That's the spectrum.
Streaming Cloud XR.
Correct.
So
the spectrum
and that would include AR and VR, I would imagine. So,
Isn't that what I was saying last week about the fact that they were opening the ports and these guys are finally communicating and XR was the way? It seems like,
yeah.
yay, my prediction. That was
So, the downside is that I don't think we are going to see this on the Quest anytime soon, but maybe we'll see it on the Pico Neo. I don't know.
If not, we're guaranteed to see it on the new Apple headset being released in Q1 2021.
Right.
Which is now
but
rumored
they'll
to have
host it on iCloud. It'll be iCloud hosted.
Oh God.
iCloud XR.
No. Apple tax on XR. No. Oh my God. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It really is kind of crazy, I must say.
Yeah. And the last little bit of news is Mars VR, virtual reality for Mars exploration, Indiegogo project. This hails from where I used to live in Lakewood, Washington.
Oh, I thought Mars.
No, that's where I'm going. No. The Mars Virtual Reality Project has a goal to build an engineering-grade virtual reality simulation for future human Mars exploration, public outreach for STEM programs in schools and museums, and training for analog astronauts at a real-life Mars Desert Research Station, MDRS, located in the Utah desert. So, basically, they want to build a realistic VR simulation for training both astronauts and for allowing the public to experience what it would be like to be on Mars.
Well, it's a good idea.
They want to bring it to high schools, and they want to bring it to elementary and junior high or middle school as well.
You mean the future colonists?
Yeah.
It would be a good idea. Yeah, it would be a good idea to get them used to the idea that something like that is in their future, as opposed to springing it on their grandparents. Saying,
right.
How would you like to go inhabit Mars? So yeah, I think that's a great idea that they're bringing it into the school system, because this is something that they have to grow up thinking about.
Right. So, but yeah, I think it's cool, and it's extra cool for me because it hails from where I used to live.
Mars.
So,
Listen,
that's my next destination. I came from Mercury.
That would explain the quick-wittedness.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the wings on your ankles.
Yes.
That would account for that as well.
I keep having to shave them off because I get weird looks and questions if I don't.
I understand. It's not the usual thing. I've had to trim my tail a few times as well, because people.
What do you do about your horns?
Oh, those I have permanently covered there.
Oh, okay. All right. So, on that weird note, that brings us to the end of the episode.
Yes, it does.
So, if you made it this far, I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. I apologize. This was rough.
No. If you made it this far all the way to the end, so thank you. We really appreciate it. And as always, we would like for you to go grab your friends and offer them bribes to like and subscribe on their own computers to the podcast as well. So,
and if you would like to play Carly and the Reaper Man with either one of us, please let us know, and then we'll consider buying a copy.
Yes, and we'll send you the invoice.
Oh, that goes without saying.
All right. Bye. Have a great rest of your week. Have fun.
Take care, guys.